Hello watch aficionados, hope you're all very well. Thought I'd get another video out. It's kind of been able to afford some time here on a weekend, or the last couple of weekends. I think I've published 2 videos recently, so welcome back to the most inconsistent YouTube channel there is. Actually there are some pretty inconsistent ones, are there? But I'm pretty comfortable within those ranks. So what did I want to cover today? Actually, I wanted to do 2 videos, and frustratingly enough, I was just recording a video yesterday, which I was kind of in full flow, doing what I wanted to do, covering what I wanted to cover, and then my battery died on my camera, so I can't really be bothered to add on and edit and re-edit and add. I don't have time for all the sort of different cuts and videos. I just like to, you know, off the top of my head, off the bat, deliver a video, deliver content. So I'm going to start on something different to what I was covering in that particular video. I wanted to cover, I think what's going around at the moment, the buzzword is the bubble bursting in the Rolex world. What are we all feeling? What do I feel from speaking with people around my region, people who I know? I went to a Rolex AD yesterday, and I was just inquiring about a rose gold Daytona. I wanted to try one. I thought about it for a bit. I recently saw a friend who was visiting. He mentioned a Rolex a rose gold Daytona. I thought, you know what, I want to have a look at these rose gold Daytonas. Let me just get my phone 1 second. And suffice to say, Rolex happy to quote prices, happy to do everything. They cannot deliver a rose gold Daytona, not even if you want to try one on, which led me to sort of start thinking about this whole Rolex bubble again. And, you know, I've been digesting several videos over the last few weeks from different, you know, channel authors or whoever, just sort of putting my head around it and what I kind of feel, what I think. So what do I say? I think that basically, regardless of whatever market we're in, if there's a market constriction or a bubble bursting, I think that the core products will still remain quite strong, even though they will experience an initial dip. And yesterday's example at the Rolex AD of me not being able to look at a Rolex Daytona, a full gold one, a rose gold one, kind of again brought to light this whole culture of non-availability and how far it's gone. It's gone stupid, to be honest with you. It started with, yep, you're not able to get a sub. Okay, we're just about able to accept that we're not able to get a Rolex Explorer, but really not able to get a Rolex Explorer. And when it kind of went through that culture, and you know, this culture of non-availability, rarity, you're very lucky to get this watch, stems from the Daytona and probably from the Nautilus. That's pretty much about it, and we've always been happy to accept that. But that culture from the Daytona has just gone right through the Rolex range. It's gone through your subs, it's gone through your no dates, your Explorers, your Explorer 2s, which I think are nice, but I don't think they're that great. I know a friend or two who will disagree with me on that, who watch this channel. You know, you're not able to pick up Datejusts, DJ41s. It's gone silly. You can pretty much just about walk into an AD nowadays and purchase, you know, your fancy schmancy stuff that you don't really want, but the whole thing has caught on such fire that a Rolex can barely provide you with, you know, even second or third tier watches that you really want. You know, let's just classify first tier watches as the true core sports ones, you know, the Daytonas, the subs, GMT Masters, whatever. So the Rolex bubble, where does it stand with this? I think that, yeah, things will probably come back. They will probably come back down a little. And I think that the ones that are most at risk are things like the Datejusts, things like the full gold watches, things like the bimetal watches, the two-tone watches. I think they're at risk, and people, I reckon, will probably lose on that. I just don't see where there is genuine demand from. I see there is genuine demand from dealers, but things have kind of gone in a different direction over the last few weeks. And it's not hearsay, I do feel it, but I still feel that core watches, super core watches, let's just call, I have a super core watch from the Rolex range. I think I have 2 super core watches in the Rolex range, which I think are pretty much untouchable. That is Steel Daytona, Rolex Pepsi. I think they are rock solid. Second tier ones that I think are still very strong but might be touched are things like the Hulk, the Batman, Batgirl on a Jubilee, the subs, etc, etc. In fact, I think that percentage-wise, and let's not talk about value-wise, but percentage-wise over a longer period, I think that the black sub will be maybe a bit safer even than the Hulk and Batman. I'm not sure. I'll probably get a few comments, people telling me I'm an idiot. This is the whole point of YouTube channel. No one really knows. I've got my magic ball here, and I'm just trying to break things down and deliver it to you people so that we can have an open forum about this. Anyway, let's not kill the messenger. So that's just kind of how I see it. Anyway, I thought I'll touch on that, but I forgot that I didn't do a wristwatch check, and it's an interesting one today. I think in my last video I mentioned that I was awaiting a delivery of a watch of some sort, predominantly a Rolex, obviously. It didn't come into fruition, unfortunately. I'll be honest, I'll put my hands up and tell you it's going to be a Batgirl. It was going to be a Batgirl, which I was pretty 100% sure, well, I was 100% sure that I was going to get it last week. That's how it was delivered to me. I was obviously frustrated, but you know what? Good things come around. I was traveling the other day. My flight was delayed. I think it was delayed due to some weather. Yeah, it was weather. I was in a Costa coffee shop at the airport, and what was I enjoying? I forgot. I think I was having some panini. Anyway, I hadn't done my watch rounds yet. You know, every time I go to the airport, I do my watch rounds. I go to the Tudors, I go to the Panerais, I go to the Rolex. You know, the Rolex one's pretty pointless anyways, to see their cabinets, other than just to exchange the typical niceties of like, oh, you're traveling in, yeah, good to see you, mate, yeah, cool. Anyway, I'm enjoying my panini in a Costa coffee shop, and from a distance I see some Rolex staff putting some watches into the cabinet, and I was thinking, hold on a minute, what is this about? So I put my panini down, it was still hot anyway, and picked up my my wallet, and I thought I'd just march over to the Rolex cabinets just to see what's going on. So guess what? They are putting down, what did they put down? They put down one black sub date, they put down one Explorer 1, they put down a Date Just 41 fluted bezel Jubilee, and they put down a Pepsi, a 126710 BLRO Pepsi. They put that guy down. I was like, what is happening right now? Seriously, I was thinking, is this another watch? Or I was so kind of startled by the whole thing. The only thing I could say was like, is this for sale? Obviously, the guy's like, yeah, we're just putting them out now. I looked around. I thought someone was going to jump me from behind and get this watch before I did. It was the early hours of the morning, so I just said, yeah, I'll take that, and here we are. I'll do a separate review on this, but I'm absolutely, as they say in Australia, stoked to have this watch. Excuse the support, I've got a bit of a dodgy elbow recently. Been hitting the weights again, I haven't done it for a while, and just need a bit of support, but it looks a bit gammy and weird in the video. But I'll do a more close-up sort of video when I kind of do a review on this watch. I'm just enjoying it right now, and initial reactions are that it's a fantastic watch. It's kind of what I've been after for a long while. As you know, I've always been wearing my Sea Dweller 16600. Anyway, let's just put that to one side now. So the Rolex Bubble. From where I sit, from my jurisdiction, where I'm based, my location, I see a lot of watches online for sale. I see them there for a long time. I touched on this in my previous video. It's just dealers sat on them and they're not moving. I think also what changed things a little bit, in my opinion, was when Rolex started to remove plastics or your stickers. I think the sticker thing was such a desired thing for many people, just saying, is it stickers? Yep, I want it. And now it just doesn't feel as if, even if you're getting a brand new one without stickers, you just think, well, I don't know anymore, like it could have been worn. I mean, look, at the end of the day, you just got to look at the watch and see if there's any sign of wear. It's not, it's fine. But people still did like those plastics. It's new, right? Like the plastics indicate that it's new. I think the stickers might have changed things a little bit. The dealers weren't able to get as many watches, but also there were quite strong blacklisting protocol came into effect here in the Middle East. People were checking things, checking databases, who's bought what. As you all know, I know of a dealer who, obviously their sales staff were selling to people who weren't truly on the lists. So the Rolex Bubble, what do I think about it? I think it's kind of like the football transfer window here in the UK or in Europe. I remember when we hit the recession in 2008, Cristiano Ronaldo went to Real Madrid that year for a record fee. You would have thought that footballers would have suddenly, I don't know, just people would have paid less, or clubs would have paid less for the best footballers. I mean, there was just a massive recession, just came in, affected everyone. Suddenly, those footballers were worth actually more, because the fact is that they were still the best in their positions around the world. They were worth more, regardless of what's happening. This is what this person can deliver to your football club. And it's not like Rolex are going to start increasing production. They're not going to affect their QC in order to satisfy all the demands. But the question is, has the demand been genuine? That's the thing. Has the demand been genuine? I've heard Rolex ADs sell people watches promising that it's a good investment and that it's this, that and the other, and it's just a wrong angle to approach it, to say it. I mean, it's incorrect, but it also gets people excited, and those people who might not know about watches, they will deliver the same message when they go back home and say to their friends, and then their friends will be like, really, Rolex is a good investment, I'll go that. I think that's where it's all been coming from. These messages, it's all been delivered to a person who's not really in the know about stuff, and then they carry this message and they tell maybe 5 of their friends, and then 5 of their friends tell maybe 2 of their friends, and that's just what happens. Suddenly you can't get anything anywhere. You've got your top tier resellers like Watchfinder, who've obviously adjusted their prices for whatever reason. I think they've just maybe had surplus stock and they realized that they were not just above market value, but supremely above market value. That has a knock-on effect to the mid-tiers, to the personal guy who's selling kind of on his own, one-stop shop, kind of, or online, meets people, sells it in Starbucks. It all affects that. But I don't think that will you be able to buy subs at an AD for retail? I think from what I've seen online, a lot of people now are claiming to be in the UK or in other parts of Europe to have been waiting for a week or maybe 2-3 weeks for a sub or a professional watch or sports professional watch. I think maybe things are changing there. I think the core ones that have always been in demand, but not including Daytona's, Pepsi's, the subs, I think they'll be back. I think the Explorer ones, you'll be able to get them. People who've been playing the game with Air Kings, I don't know why you ever played the game with Air Kings. I don't know why you bothered even buying an Air King and then reselling it or trying to sell it for an investment. Like, seriously, forget Air Kings. I think those watches will come into effect again. I think they will be available. Saying that, I think still Batgirls will be tricky, very tricky, and I think Hulks will be tricky. I think in this region, I think the family who obviously distribute here, they quoted up to a 10-year waiting list for not just a Daytona, for many sports watches. I think you'll still struggle with a Hulk massively, a Batgirl massively, and for me, top tier Daytona and Pepsi, you'll struggle. Like that's still going to be crazy. But that's kind of what I'm thinking. I didn't do a notes on this particular topic because I did a notes on my other video, but I'm not in the mood to do that video right now, so I'll do it maybe later or tomorrow. But that's kind of how I see it going. I think that's the right term. It's price correction. What we're going through now is a price correction. I think there still will be a premium that sits on top of many of these watches. I mean, you can't just over a year satisfy the demand which has accumulated over the last 2 years for all Rolexes. You cannot. It's going to take a few years to supplement that, to give the market what it demands. It's going to take a few years for Rolex to release the watches to satisfy all that. I think anyone who thinks that they will be still able to see subs and things like that in the window display, from where I'm sitting in the Middle East, no. Maybe London, you've got loads of authorized dealers all around the UK, maybe. Here, we don't have that many. We really don't have many, and people here buy like crazy. They got all the connections, they buy in bulk. It's crazy here in the Middle East. I was just lucky being able to get this at an airport because my flight was delayed by a few hours. I mean, I'd do that every day of the week and twice on Sunday. I really would. If you can give me the hot stuff, I'll sit there in the airport enjoying my panini. Please, just tell me when and where. Anyway, I think that's kind of what I wanted to cover from the Rolex bubble. I watched some fantastic videos on this topic recently from some of my preferred watch channels which I'm subscribed to. Some of these guys go all out. They provide you the great videos and scenes and stuff. I mean, I wish I had time to do all that. I really do, but one, I'm probably just not that creative, and two, I just don't have time for it. I think sometimes you just have to deliver the raw content, let people make what they will of it, and hope for some decent feedback in the comment section, which obviously spawns more future videos. As for the Rolex bubble, I think it's going to be, rather than a bubble, I think it's going to be a big droplet. That's what I think it'll be. I still think it will remain to be a big droplet. I think some stuff will return. People will be able to have it. Rolex have enforced certain measures for us to be able to get the watches we want, cut out the dealers, get rid of these guys. Because I think in the end they realised that it was bad for the market. And I mean, saying that, it's not like Rolex decided to burst the bubble for us, but I think that the market was saturated with watches, with supply. It was saturated with supply, but the demand was not meeting the quotations of the supply. So for example, the supply was there, but the demand wasn't strong enough to buy it at the prices that the suppliers were willing to charge. It just wasn't there. We entered, there were locked horns. And now trying to slowly drop prices to see where it goes, to see if buyers will buy. But I think that's it reached a stalemate. And I think there will be a price correction over the next few months, over the next year, and we'll see where we stand. But as I've always said, when there's a constriction in the market, when things seem to taper off, always stick with the core stuff. The core stuff is safe. Don't let the ADs and Rolex fool you for the Datejust 41 premiums, Air King premiums, even Explorer 1 premiums. Don't go for that. Fine, there's a sub premium, live with it, accept it, within reason. There's a Batgirl premium, Hulk girl, Hulk girl, a Batgirl premium, Hulk. Weigh up, is it a decent premium? There will be a premium, for sure. There will always be a premium. But weigh it up, make sure it's the right premium. Don't go to the top end and there's no growth after that. That's if you're an investor. I mean, if you're buying for yourself, whatever makes you happy. You've got deep pockets, go buy a few and enjoy. But anyway, guys, I think I don't want to ramble on too much. I need to have my coffee. It's not actually Del Monte, but it's Del Monte quality apparently. So thanks very much for listening. I look forward to some decent comments in the comment section, and hopefully speak with you all soon. Thanks.